Now, Janine has 2 liters of orange squash. She also has some empty cups. Now, when full, each cup holds 300 milliliters of orange squash. So always keep this information, yeah? So 200 liters, that's basically 2,000 milliliters, yeah? So just keep that in mind. And each cup holds 300 ml. So that is also important to keep in mind. Janine fills as many cups as possible. How much orange squash does Janine have left after filling as many cups as possible? Okay, so it's just a question of how many times does 300 go into 2,000? Well, we can do some division, isn't it? So it's just basically 2,000 divided by 300. And if you do that, 2,000 divided by 300, let's put in our calculator. You should get exactly, it will say in decimal places, 6.6666 dot dot dot. It's important to write this in decimal rather than a fraction because you want to see how many is left over. Now, this means that you can fill exactly 6 cups and then you get some random decimal. So the way to check it over, just do 6 times 300. That tells you how many is actually being filled, which is 1,800 ml. And you can clearly see that the difference between 2,000 and 1,800 is literally 200 milliliters left. So diagram shows a rectangle and a square. Okay, so you got one side of the square, one side of the rectangle is 6, and the other one's 10. The perimeter of the rectangle is equal to the perimeter of the square. Now let's understand what that means. The perimeter means the length when you add around. So if you know that this side is 10, this side is 6, that means this side is 10 centimeters and this side is 6. Perimeter means when you add them all up, it's the same. So let's go ahead and add this up, guys. So you got 10 add 6 is 16. Add another 16 is 32. So all of this is 32 centimeters. Okay. Now that means, and for a square, we need to know that the square has the same length all the way around. Because you've got 4 sides, let's do 32 divided by 4. That'll give us 8 centimeters. You've got 8, 8, 8, and 8. Yeah, so that's basically the same. Now let's keep reading. It says that the area of the rectangle is less than the area of the square. Work out how much the area of the rectangle is less than the area of the square. Well, to find the area of a shape, you just times 2 sides. So the area of the first shape is 6 times 10, which is 60 centimeters squared. And well, 8 times 8 is 64, so 64 centimeters squared. So we can see that the difference between 60 and 64 is 4 centimeters squared, and that is the difference. The diagram shows a square, ABCD, and a regular pentagon, CDFG. Now, you can see they're kind of stuck together. Work out the size of an angle marked X. Now, what I do, I look at each shape and just try and work out myself. Well, in a square, we should know that in a square, all of these angles are 90 degrees. They're always right angles. So this is 90. Now, to work out the angles in a pentagon, there's a really cool formula to use, yeah? It's called the sum of the interior angles. So sum of the interior, yeah? And the formula is this. It's always the number size, take away 2, and then you times it by 180 degrees. Okay, so let's firstly work on that. This will tell you the sum of all of these angles inside in this case, a pentagon. Because you've got pentagon, it's 5 sides, so it'll be 5 take away 2, which is 3. And you times it by 180. And if you do that, you get 540 degrees. So this means that the sum of all these angles inside is 540. Well, because we know it's a 5-sided shape and it's got 5 angles, to get one interior angle, you divide it by 5. So in your calculator, 540 divided by 5 should give us 108 degrees. This means that one angle here is 108, and all of them, of course, are 108, and so on. Now, remember, we're trying to find x here. So to find x, the sum of all of these three must equal 360, because the sum around the angles around a point is 360 degrees. So let's add up these two numbers, guys. So 90 plus 108 gives us 198, and then minus that from 360. If you do that, you get 162. So this means x is 162. Yeah, that's it for that. This diagram shows a shaded shape on a grid. So it looks like we've got some sort of like kite. Yeah, it's that type of kite. It bends at that point. On the grid, reflect the shape in the line x equals 6. So all you got to do, using a ruler, x equals 6 means you just mark over here and just draw a straight line. You draw a nice straight line. I'm just doing it freehand for now, yeah, but you should use a ruler, guys, yeah. And then you just reflect it nicely. All I do is just pick one point, which is here, pick another point here. So this is obviously how many points away from this point. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 across. So if you had 4 across, it should be on here, on this point here. Likewise, this corner here, is about 5 points away, so it should be here. And then this corner here is about 3 points away, so it should be here. Now all you do is just kind of visualize the shape. Remember, using a ruler. Avoid doing freehand like I'm doing on here. And then just kind of connect it nicely. Oops, that's not going to be nice. I could use a ruler, but it's just the tools I got is not working right now. And that's it, that's reflected. And then we're going to, now it says the diagram below shows triangle P and triangle Q in a grid. Describe fully the single transformation that maps P into Q. Now maps P. So it's trying to tell you what is happening here. Well, you have to firstly understand that this is actually an enlargement, yeah? So Q is basically just scaled up. It just become a bigger version of P. Now how many times bigger? Well, a nice trick is just to count how many times this length's gone up. Well, if this length is just like 1 unit up, you can see it's gone up 3 units. So this shape is 3 times bigger. So it's an enlargement of 3. But the question is, where is like the mirror that it reflects, or the point of enlargement? So what you do now, you draw some dotted lines like here, and you just, using a ruler, you just draw all the way across here, and you realize that it's going to cut somewhere around here, and then draw another enlargement. Just try and match every corner. So you're going to realize that the point of enlargement is at the origin. If I did this corner, and I carried on, it's going to cut over here. That's what the ruler will tell me. So what this tells me is that we're basically looking at this point over here, and this one's been magnified into that. So we say that this is an enlargement by a scale factor, so the word is scale factor, of 3 from point, or center you can say, OO. So the diagram shows a shape ABCDE, ABCDE, and looks like you got X over there as well, but this one they did not write. The area of the shape is 91.8 centimeters. Work out the value of X. So what I like to do, I like to split the shape. So you could either split it vertically or horizontally. I'm just going to split it this way. I'm going to split it horizontally, yeah? So let's update the values. So we know that this rectangle has a height of 8 and a width of X. So let's write here. It's always good to redraw 8 and X. Now we have a trapezium here. So it's like that. So I think we're given a trapezium formula, isn't it? A trapezium looks like this, by the way. You have basically 2 parallel lengths, and that's it. It's a 4-sided shape. We know that this length is also X. If the whole thing is 14 and this side is 8, that means the difference between 14 and 8 is 6. So that short length is 6. And we know that this length is 13. Now, we know that the area, if you add both of these, is 91.8. So first things first, what is the area of each shape? So for the area of a rectangle, it's just 8 times X. So we know that the area of this shape is 8X. Now the area of the trapezium, well, we're given it in the beginning of the formula booklet, but I like to use this formula. Add up the 2 parallel lengths, so X plus 13, and then divide it by 2, and then times it by your height, which is 6. Okay, that's basically what it's going to be. Well, to simplify this, you can do, 6 over 2 is just 3. So all that is just basically 3 times X plus 13. So 3 times X plus 13. And that's just basically 3X plus 39. Now, if we add them up, we know that the total area is 91.8. This means that the area of this plus the area of the rectangle must equal 91.8. So let's write an equation, guys, yeah? Let's write down. So we can say that the area is 3x plus 39 plus the original one at the top, which was 8x. And that's supposed to equal 91.8. Now let's tidy this up, yeah? 3x plus 8x is 11x. And then you write plus 39 equals 91.8. Now let's go ahead and let's subtract 39 across. We want to make x a subject, yeah? So 91.8 minus 39. That's so easy. That's going to give us 52.8. Then we're left with 11x. And now to get x on its own, just divide 11 across. So your final answer is going to be x equals 52.8 over 11. Put down your calculator. You should get 4.8. And that's your answer for x. X is actually 4.8. Cool.